Okay. You look good. Good. Taking it outside again. It's a beautiful day. Beautiful. Just making sure my Wi-Fi is up to scratch. Okay. We got any runners out there? Even if we don't have runners, we have plenty of people who may have some hip tightness. And how do you know you have hip tightness? You may have a tilt in your pelvis, okay? So they're tight here, so they're always pulling forward, okay? You may be sitting at your desk and you see the way your hips are always pulling forward because you're in that rounded position. You're sitting down a lot all day, sitting watching TV. Any of these types of issues, you're going to have this tightness in the hips. So you can even do this routine with your shoes on. If you're doing it with your shoes off outside, make sure you have a mat, and you can do it in your bare feet, whatever is comfortable. But you can also do this standing up with your shoes on, so that's the great thing about it. So we start off just going to take our hands and just loosen out the breath, the diaphragm, and the arms, okay? So standing in your tall neutral position, feet are underneath the hips, tuck the tailbone under so your hips are nice and straight. And this is going to be the main focus for today, okay? So your bum isn't sticking out, you want to tuck that tailbone under, okay? So you see the way your pelvis can rock back and forth? It's great, it's like a cradle, okay? So what we want to do is have it tucked under so it's nice and straight. So if you think of it like a bucket, okay, and the water is filled up to here, right up to the top. If you tilt that bucket forward, water's going to pour out. If you tilt that bucket too far behind, water's going to pour out. So we want that tuck under, keep that bucket nice and straight, okay, that's our analogy. Keep that bucket nice and straight and just start with your palms together, pushing your palms together with a little bit of force. Elbows are up, okay? Take an inhale and then exhale, lifting up, push the hands together and release. Inhale and release. Inhale, push your hands together. Push your hands together as you reach up and release. So from the front it looks like push, push, push the hands together and release. And you're not locking your knees back. You're going to keep those knees slightly soft and keep that tailbone tucked under. And you can remember to keep that tailbone tucked under by squeezing the bum, squeezing the buttocks, squeezing the glutes. And simple. Take your hands down by your side. Now take your knee, raise it up to hip height, and take it back down. Inhaling, coming down. Exhale, lifting up from the side. How does it look? Knee 90 degrees if you can. Heel in line with the knee. And you're alternating. And you're keeping those hips on the same line. So you're not raising one hip higher than the other. That's going to lose balance. So the whole idea here is that you keep those hips on the same line. So you can keep the hands there if that's what's going to help you. And looking at a point in front of you is going to help too. Okay, now arms. Okay, we're going to bring the runner's arms into this. So taking opposite arm up, hand is up, so like a sprinter, and your other arm is behind. You down and you change. Okay, so like you're going into a sprint. This looks like a slow motion. Remember, you used to do that slow motion running. Din, 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 din. Okay, so something like that. So that's going to be your runner's sprint with your knee raise from the side. That's how it looks. Okay? Now we're going to do it nice and vigorous. We're going to go for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now you're going to go into 10 more. Breath. Squeeze the glutes. 4 more. 3, 2, 1, and relax. Just. Can you see me? Come onto the balls of your feet and down. Balls of the feet and down. Clawing that floor, pushing all the toes into the floor. I see a lot of people, they want to take the toes off when they come down, and that's them just rocking, okay? No. Push the toes, every toe, all 10 of them, if you have them, into the floor, onto the balls of the feet. Push them in and slowly coming down, okay? So you're working the underside of that foot. Keeping that tailbone tucked under. Stay nice and tall through your posture. Okay, and the whole idea is to reinforce the movements with that straight hip. Okay. And then that's just to loosen out the calves and the balls of the feet, strengthening them up. Next, what we're going to try and do is alternate one by one. Again, focusing on keeping the hips on the same line, okay, so not hiking one up higher than the other, okay, so keeping them on the same line. So we're just going to alternate 1, 2, left, right. See, my hands are staying on the same line, they're not jerking up and down. The arms, runner's arms. 10, 9, 8, 7. Now you concentrate on that center of your body, that core, that powerhouse right around here. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and down. Okay, now very important part of the hip is rotation, okay? Those hips can rotate in and out. And also that rotation of the hip, when you're running, the strength of it stops your knees from buckling under, okay? As you're running, as you're walking. So it's important to just strengthen up those hips. The inner thigh and the outer thigh will also strengthen up the hip and the surrounding musculature, okay? So what we're going to do is just take our foot and place it onto the other ankle, and we're going to just open and close, okay? So that's your beginner level, okay? That doesn't take into consideration any balance because your foot is still on the floor, okay? Now as you progress, you're going to be able to pull that foot up higher, higher, higher. Keep the base of the foot onto the other leg. If you can come up to the inner thigh, that is great. Take an inhale, contract the core, pull up those pelvic floors. Exhale, open, and inhale, close. exhale, open, and inhale, close. Now the hands can be on your hips, or you can focus on that power again by pushing your palms together. So 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and slide it down, switch it across onto the other side, draw that leg up, exhale, open. We're ready to go for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay, slide it down, hands come down. Now we're going to go into our runner's lunge, that I like to call it. Okay, let's have a look at it from the side. It's going to be the easiest way to do it. Okay, great, you've got me there. Okay, so we're going to just introduce the leg part first. So inhale, lift that knee like in the first exercise up to hip height, and then as you exhale, you're going to take a step back, bend this front knee, okay, and step back onto the toes. Inhale, lifting up forward. Take the arms in now, runner's arms. So on that knee up, that hand comes back and opens up the shoulder and the chest. And then as you exhale, your arms are going to switch. And you're going to keep that body nice and straight, and the hips are nice and straight. So that torso should be the same angle as this leg and as this leg. Okay? We're ready again. So, where's our arms? Inhale, lift up. We're going for 10, 9. Inhale up. Exhale back. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Come back up, switch it down. Okay, I'm going to take you onto the other side. 10, straight on the other leg. So we're going to take the arm straight in, take that opposite arm up, knee up, inhale, pull in your core, pelvic floors, exhale, go back. Ready? 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, so you're using that front leg to power off. 3, 2, and 1. And down. Okay. That is a great one to open up those hips and strengthen up those glutes as well. Now we're going to get into our deep lunge. Okay. So, what we're going to do is do our roll down. Okay. Take our palms on the floor. As we bend the knees, you can walk back into your plank. You see me? Okay. So we're going to take one foot forward. You can take it onto the mat. So that inside foot is forward. We're going to just bounce on that hip. So we're bouncing on this straight leg hip, pushing it into the floor, keeping this knee over the ankle, keeping that 90-degree angle. Okay, and then we're going to do our rotation, opening up that hip. So you do about 10 bounces there, and then 10 of these opening on the hip. 4, 3, 2, 1. Now you're going to take that inside hand, placing it, both hands down beside your foot and keeping that leg in 90 degrees. So inside hand closest to the foot, you're going to take that hand, rotate. As you rotate, you're pushing your other hand on the floor into the ground. Push the hand in, opening up the chest, and at the same time you're pushing the back heel away from your body. Okay, so you're getting that big stretch. You're going to come down again. Now if you're able, you're going to bend this elbow and bring it down towards the heel as close as you can. Then rotate up and come back down. We're going to go for 5 and 4 and 3 and 2 and 1. Taking that hand down, slide your legs back, bring the other leg forward. My hips are tight this morning. This is a great one. So, going to bounce again. See the way my hands are in line with my foot, with my leg. My ankle is underneath my knee, staying in that 90 degrees. This hip, we're going to bounce for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then rotate, a little push just of that hip. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now keep that shoulder down away from the ear. Push that hand into the floor. We're going to do our rotations, so we'll start off with 1 just to rotate and open up. Push that hand into the floor. Push your back heel away. Now let's go for 5 with our elbow down to the floor as close as we can. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Okay, 2 hands together. Bring your feet back. Just walk into your pike. Stretch your head through your arms into our pike with the heels down. Now from here, you're just going to walk out your ankles. So take one heel off the ground, push the other heel into the ground and switch. So you're stretching those calf muscles and ankles down into your Achilles. Okay, another big component for runners. Last 3, 2, and 1. Okay, now you're just going to come down into plank and then down into back extension. So stretching out the hips. Careful if the compression on your lower back. Come down a little bit more if there's any compression on your lower back. Okay, stretch it out. Now last one, we're going to go into our push-up plank. Okay, push the hands into the floor, tuck the tailbone under, and we're going to do 10 pulses on each leg. So you're going to lift your right leg off the floor. I'm going to make sure you can see me. Okay. So push your hands into the floor, lift your right leg off the floor in that plank position, and pulse straight leg lift for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Down and change. Keep that tailbone tucked under. Keep pushing the hands into the floor. Lift your left leg, point the toe, pulse and squeeze at the glute for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bend the knees down. Sit back onto your heels, stretching out the upper back. Pushing your hands away from yourself, push them into the floor, stretch out that upper back. And last exercise, almost forgot about it. I'm going to go into our box plank. Again, push yourself, push your hands and your toes into the floor, tuck the tailbone under, hold and squeeze, hold and squeeze. You can do that on the elbows if the wrists are sore. Keep trying to pull up your pelvic floors, zip everything up, hold for another 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and done. Okay, so just loosen it, those wrists. They be sore after a little routine on the floor. So again, you can do something like that if your hips are tight, if you're sitting down all day, if you are a runner. It's a great little warm-up to get the hips loosened and to get the glutes fired up. These are opposing muscles, your hips and your glutes, so they need to work in conjunction with each other, doing opposite things at different times. All right, try that one out a few days a week, and it will really make a big difference in the hips. Okay, see you on Wednesday, where we're going to talk about shoulders and a great little shoulder and neck routine you can do, also to help people who are sitting at home, office workers. You may not have the right chairs and desks set up at home, teleworkers, so we'll focus on a nice little routine you can do, and shoulders can be generally the biggest pain in the neck as well. All right, see you on Wednesday, and see some of you tonight for our cardio workout.